Has Amazon changed in 2020? Well, there are definitely a lot of things that have changed, especially being in 2020, but there are a lot of vital characteristics that remain constant for the success of your business, and that's exactly what I want to be talking about in this video. Let's go. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Prestige Amazon FBA YouTube family. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Andy. I'm currently a 7-figure seller and I've been selling on the Amazon FBA platform for a few years now. I currently release videos on Amazon FBA specific topics twice a week and release content on my Instagram at the official Andy Lamb every single day, so definitely go check that out. If you guys are new here, definitely consider subscribing if you guys are interested in anything Amazon. And as always, if you guys have any topics you want me to cover, definitely feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I truly appreciate it. And every single video I do release free coaching calls, so if you guys are interested in a free 30-minute coaching call, all you guys need to do is stay till the end of this video to find out how you can be entered into winning that. And if you guys do have a Facebook, I also am really active on my personal Facebook group, so definitely check out Prestige Amazon FBA Mastermind on Facebook, and all of that, as always, is down below in the description. Well, in the game of Amazon FBA private labeling, it seems like there's always something changing, whether it may be new terms of services, new lending programs, new ad spaces. If you guys are unaware, you can now do video ads, and you can kind of put up like a demo video of your product to hopefully convert to a sale, and have better marketing in that way. But in this video, and for the purpose of this video, I didn't want to talk about the new updates because that could be a whole another subject to this video. But I do want to talk about the things that remain constant and will always be really important for the success of your business. With that said, I do want to really focus on the really important things and things that have always been important in the game of Amazon FBA private labeling. There have been a lot of trends in terms of, ways to launch your products and ways to do product research and everything of that sort. But I do want to focus for this video, on those main different types of, characteristics and tools to follow and the things to do in terms of due diligence that will really affect your business and prepare your business for the longevity of what you really want it to be. And the first one that I really want to address and strongly put out there, because it seems to be that a lot of people are taking shortcuts around this, but you really want to be able to put out a quality product and add value to the product that you're bringing to the market. You really want to be selling a quality product, a product that you would be happy with receiving yourself if you were to ever order this type of product. It is not worth it, and it truly is the backbone of your business if you are able to put out a quality product. You don't want to be putting out a crappy product into the market, and having that result in you getting really bad reviews. That'll almost instantly shut down your product and listing, and you may be making sales in the beginning, potentially, if you have a really good product. If you have what seems to be a really good product in the beginning, but once those bad reviews start rolling down and people start actually seeing and giving that social proof for your product for what it really is, it's not really worth it. And having a product with 1, 2 or 3 stars is not going to last long, and it will strongly affect your actual lifetime of your product. One of those ways you can put out a quality product is actually by differentiating. And I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, and differentiating is one of the biggest ways to be able to stay in the Amazon game and have an advantage in the Amazon FBA game. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just kind of copy what's already on the market. You'll see sometimes if you, for example, go on Garlic Press, everybody's selling the same garlic press, and what is the difference between somebody choosing something with a couple thousand reviews as opposed to yours with 5 reviews? It just doesn't make sense why you would do so, especially in 2020, 2019, 2018. You just want to be able to spend enough time in doing your due diligence, doing your research, actually putting out a product that suits your consumer base and shows your consumer base that you have studied them, and you put out a product for what they actually really want. So just being able to differentiate. Sometimes changing a color is enough. Adding a quantity, so changing a 1-pack to a 2-pack may be enough depending on the type of product, but most of the times, especially in 2020 and moving forward, it really isn't enough to be able to do that. You need to be able to study your consumer base, as mentioned, put out a product that your customers actually want, spending the time to research your customer base and see, what they're looking for, what is important to them, and if the product that's on the market is not of quality, how can you improve upon that quality? It definitely will pay off. I can guarantee you guys that. Getting reviews and having that social proof is also extremely, extremely important. You guys need to have a solid review plan in place. I know that there have been a lot in the past, and a lot of them still work to help increase that review percentage. Most times just getting organic reviews will get you, 1 to 2% of a review ratio to sales. So meaning like every 100 sales you get, you might get 1 to 2 reviews, which is extremely low. So it is extremely important. I've said extremely many times, but it's really important for you guys to have a solid review plan in place, whether that may be a follow-up email sequence. I released a video on this I think last week or a few weeks ago on how to be careful about how to better word your review sequences. And I didn't release a tool, but I include a tool in my cheat sheet to help you kind of speed that up as well. Amazon has released a review requested button, and I put that tool, a link to that tool, in my cheat sheet, which is extremely helpful. And if you guys do have Jungle Scout also has that tool as well. And basically how that tool works is, for every order that gets placed for your product, there's a button that Jungle Scout has added to your sellers or orders page that you can simply click, and it'll basically ask all of the previous orders that are eligible for a review. And to be honest, for me, that has definitely increased my review rate pretty significantly. I've never seen anything that has increased my number of reviews so quickly. So definitely go check that out. There's also a discount code to Jungle Scout down below in the description, as well as the cheat sheet. So definitely save yourself money in that way. I think it's about 30 to 50% off now. I'm not sure they reduced it, but I did shout them out a few weeks ago, and I have been, because it was 50% off. Hopefully it still is, but definitely go check it out. Still worth it nonetheless. The third thing that I want to address is having an optimized listing, and I'm sure you guys heard of this because I mention it all the time, and you hear everybody else on YouTube mentioning this as well. But having an optimized listing is extremely important, just for all the different aspects of your actual product. Your sales, conversion rate, your ad spend, ACoS is just extremely important in many different aspects. So definitely pay attention and do not skip on the optimized listings. Make sure you guys have a fully optimized title. I do have, I have a video on this, on how you can, better word your titles. Make sure your listings, or your pictures and videos, are optimized as well. If you don't have videos for your products, I do highly recommend, spending some money, investing in your product, getting that product video done. It can definitely drive traffic and increase conversion rates. I cannot talk again. Increase conversion rates for your actual product, because people sometimes want to see the actual product in use if it's that type of product, and sometimes the images aren't enough. But with that said, product images are also really important, especially your hero image, because it's the first thing that catches people's eyes when they are scrolling down listings and looking for certain products. If you could have a listing that could draw the attention from people's eyes to your listing, you can get that click, and people will actually see your product, and then hopefully you can sell them with your title and then your bullet points and descriptions. With that said, definitely do not skip out on your bullet points and descriptions. And if you have enhanced brand content, that is also extremely important. So do not skip on optimizing your listing. It definitely helps, and it is extremely important still, and will always be extremely important, which is why I included it in this list. With that said, you guys need to do your due diligence. Whether that may be with product research or keyword research, it is extremely important to be patient, spend the time. It does not mean that you're going to find a product overnight, or I always say it takes like a few weeks to find your product, because there's so many things in the back end that you need to do, especially if you guys are new, to be able to validate and verify if a product has high potential and high hope. The more you do it, the faster you'll get, but especially when you guys are just starting out, it's important to not skip on the phase of product research. There's so many millions and millions of products on Amazon, and not just in the US, but across the country. There's so many different products that you need to be looking up and doing your due diligence for. It is extremely important that you need to spend the time to do so now in 2020 than ever before. Just because there's so much more competition, that means you need to spend more time actually doing your product research. So don't skip out on this, do your due diligence, spend the time, be patient, and also don't get attached to certain products. I know if you find a product right off the bat, it's always going to be in the back of your mind and you might get emotionally attached to that product, but I can tell you now it's one of the main reasons why I have lost money in the beginning, especially when I was just starting out my journey. So do not get emotionally attached. One of the biggest lessons, biggest takeaway, if you guys made it to the end or made it to this point of the video, extremely important. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of this video, it has been trending different types of solid launch strategies. A couple years ago, you could pretty much use services like Viral Launch, or there's a bunch of them where you could just pretty much give a bunch of discount codes to one software. They would give away your product would rank to the top of first page, hopefully stay there. You would pay Viral Launch or whichever service, a few $100s for that service. That just doesn't really work so much anymore, especially with discount codes. You guys just want to have a really solid launch strategy in place. With that said, I hopped off the phone with a potential student a couple weeks ago, I believe, and they had come to me and they had said that they had a few products that they had released, but they weren't getting those sales. And I kind of asked them how they were doing their launch strategy, and how they were getting reviews and stuff like that, but they didn't really seem to have a solid plan in place. So they had really good listings, I would have to say. They had pretty good listings, but they weren't making the sales that they should have, not just because they weren't doing their due diligence, or not because they didn't have a solid launch strategy, or things like that. If you're in 2020, if you're in 2020 and you're launching products, you should really be using things like PPC, messenger bots, stuff like that. It's really dependent on the product, but I highly recommend you guys look into things like that. Launch softwares and similar things to that don't really work as well anymore, in my personal opinion. I never used them too much, but from selling in the game for a little while now, it just doesn't seem like it would work as well anymore. So definitely have a solid launch strategy in place, because I can assure you that it will be one of the keys to your business. I mean, with that said, nobody can really find your product if you're just launched and you're on page 20, right? Nobody really searches 20 pages to find a product when 80% of the sales happen on probably the first page and 50% of the sales happen on the first half of the top page. So it's definitely important to be able to gain that visibility in one way or another and show people that this is a product that they should actually be looking for and that they actually want. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I know that was a lot to take in and probably a lot of what you've already heard before, but it is extremely important and some of the essentials and most vital things to actually grow your business and have it succeed, especially in 2020. There is a lot of changes and a lot of changes that have happened, but these are some of the things that will remain constant, I believe, for the entirety of the actual Amazon FBA private label space and game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. As always, drop a like if that was helpful. If you guys are interested in that free 30-minute coaching call, all you guys need to do is like this video, comment down below Prestige Amazon FBA, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys found that useful at all, definitely subscribe. Anyways, again, thank you guys for staying till the end of this video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys could increase that engagement by dropping likes and comments and asking questions, I would also definitely appreciate it, because it helps out this channel, helps out the YouTube algorithm, and helps out the Prestige family. So as always, thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.